What's up, guys? It's Via with Via Talk, Conversation Without Limits, brought to you by Salute, let's cheer, Via Guatemala Coffee. Anyway, my guest here today, his name is Peter Depesa, and he is the owner of some gentleman clubs. And I wanted to have him as my guest so we can kind of talk about the business. So, welcome, Peter.
Thank you for having me.
Good. So, okay, first things first, I think off the gate, how did we even get into this whole, how did you fall into it?
I'm still trying to figure that out myself after 20 years, but I was actually valeting cars at the Palace nightclub, which was a big club.
I remember I used to go there when the under 21.
Rascals. And then the cleaning company never showed up one day, so I opened a cleaning business and I started cleaning the Palace. And we developed, a lot of clientele in the area, so we actually ended up cleaning the Squire, which was the number one gentleman's club at the time in Revere.
Wow.
So I was 17 years old, and I'm seeing the guy count the money, seeing how the business operates, and I'm like, I walked out of here one day going down the handicap ramp, and I said, I'm going to own this one day.
Wow. See? Power of universal law. Manifest.
I was manifesting at 17.
That's fire.
And then from there, the guy became like a father figure to me and started teaching me the business. And I was learning so much. So I had my cleaning company. And then after I was done at 3 a.m, I go to the Squire to learn all the business, how to do it inside and out. Nobody was there. And he came.
Let me ask you this, though. Was it the lights and the women and the nakedness, the exoticness of it, or was it the money? Which one at 17 was the driving force where you were like, ooh, I'm going to own it?
It was the money, because at the time I was cleaning the place, so there was nobody there. There was no girls. There was no nakedness.
Okay.
So it was all about seeing the money he counted on the desk. But the place closed at 2 a.m. I didn't get there till 3 a.m.
So
to clean the place.
It.
So I'm seeing all this cash on the desk, piled high, and he's counting and he's smiling. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That's cool, because most kids at 17, they get gassed. They see the titties, the ass. They're like,
they see the limelight.
Right. Exactly. But you were like, nah, I see the money.
I saw the money, and I saw the notoriety that he got. He got special treatment. People wanted to be his friend and give him tickets to the Red Sox game or the Stanley Cup, the Bruins game, keys to their vacation home, because they always wanted to be with the guy who controlled the club.
Right.
They all wanted the VIP status.
So you're like, I want to be the owner.
Absolutely. So at 18, he asked me, how's my criminal record? I said, I don't have a criminal record. He said, good, we're going to put the club in your name.
No way.
So at 18, he put the liquor license in my name, and I became the official manager. So, but I was working 100 hours a week. I did my cleaning company 60, 70 hours a week, and then I worked for him for free just to learn the business.
Wow.
And
you was interning at strip clubs, bitch.
Back then, I was talking about free labor.
I was your intern. I was an intern at a strip club. That's crazy.
So from there, we started to really learn the inner circles of the business. And back then, you could talk about it now, but everybody in the club business, they talk about watering down the booze.
Oh.
They really don't put water in it. What they do is, at the time, Absolute was the number one vodka at the time, which is compared to Grey Goose today.
Yeah.
He would buy Poland Springs.
Tito's.
He'd buy Poland Springs for 99 cents and pour the Poland Springs into the Absolute bottle. So that's why they worked from 3 o'clock to 5 in the morning. It's a waste of time. These old timers, they would, instead of putting the empties in the case, you put 24 empties in, they leave the 4 corners out. And I said, we leave the 4 corners out. He goes, because I make $3,000 extra at the end of the year. It pays for my license.
Ah.
So these guys were chemists. They weren't owners back then. They were chemists. They were mixing scotch, the colors, the caramel, and just to see how much money was going through the place. You're looking at back in 1987, 88, they're doing $150,000 a week, which is comparable today. It's probably to like $500,000.
Okay, so you're 17. That happens. Blah blah blah. And then at what point now did it become yours? So
when I started working there at 18, so from 88 to 1994 is when I left the Squire, because when I was at 1994, I said, listen, it's time. I increased the sales by $10,000 a week, which is comparable to like $50,000 today.
Right.
So I was focused on making money, how to put people together. When people came in by themselves, I introduced Joe to Bob and Bob to Steve, and they all became friends. And the more friends you have is the more times you're going to go there. So instead of going there once a week,
So
you went there 3 times a week.
You were creating, in a sense, a real man cave gentleman's club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the key. I see what you're saying. So you're saying like, yo, if the homies can pull up and my boys can pull up and that's our spot, that's where we're going to, like, kind of like the speakeasy spots
We're
or
going
the
to meet
places.
there. So
yeah.
instead of going to Boston at night, you're going to meet there from 5 to 6 o'clock, all hang out, have a few drinks, and then leave. So instead of coming once a week, now I got these guys coming 3 times a week.
Because this is their spot as the fellas.
Now this is their house.
Yeah.
So now they feel comfortable. So I went to the owner, and I said to the owner at the time, listen, I got to get paid. I said, you're paying me $200 a week. I increase sales by 10,000. So whatever you pay me, it's not like it's coming out of your pocket. I already brought the business here. Mm-hmm. So he goes, how much do you need? I said, well, I would like to make $4,000 a week plus health insurance. He goes, you're fired. I said, what? He goes, I can't afford that. I said, you act like I asked for a kidney.
Right. He said, you're fired?
Yeah. So I said, no problem. Listen to me. I'm going to stay here for 30 days. I'm not going to be fired. So I said, but here's the deal. After 30 days, when I leave to go open my restaurant, if you call me back because you need a manager, I want 15% ownership plus my pay. Because you're stubborn. I said, you taught me. This is what you taught me. And I quit college to run this place for you. So I was actually going to school. I want to become an entertainment lawyer. And at the time, the guy who owned the Squire, you can say it now, was the #1 loan shark in New England. Mm. He lent money to the Kennedys. He lent money to bookmakers. He lent money to construction developers. He lent money to everybody, but he did it legally. He had his first bank. He paid his taxes and all that stuff, but he still was still was a loan shark. So at the time, the #1 lawyer at the time, who was making back in 1988, 89, $500 an hour, which is comparable to $2,000 to $3,000 an hour today, would come and borrow $5,000 every week.
Wow.
I said, well, this guy's rich. He's multi-millionaire. He goes, he has a bad gambling problem. He's broke.
So you saw that too and was like, I want to be an entertainment lawyer. Okay, so you go into your
so I was going to become an entertainment lawyer.
Okay.
And at the time, he was in the bathroom while the lawyer was waiting for his money. And I said, hey, what do you think about me becoming a lawyer? He goes, how are your grades? I said, I went to a private school. My grades are good. He said, kid, if I were you, stay in the entertainment business. Don't ever become a lawyer. So now I have to tell my mother, who's a single mother raising 2 kids by herself, that I'm going to quit college. Her dream is for me to go to college. So the owner, Peter, said to me, Peter, just go home and tell your mother the truth. So it took me 2 days to tell my mother to quit college.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stay in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
So I went home. I told my mother exactly what I just told you about the lawyer. Put your hand on your shoulder. He said, kid, stay in the entertainment business. Don't become a lawyer. My mother says, no problem. That's what you'll do. I said, yeah. She goes, okay, good luck. I was like, wow. I went back, worked that night to the Squire. I told the owner my mother was happy about it. Everything was great. It was easy. He said, I told you to tell the truth. Did my job. I went home that night at 3:30 in the morning. Everything I own was in the driveway. My mother wrote a note. You want to be a big shot? Go find your own place to live. 18 years old, I got kicked out of my house. $2 in my pocket, making $200 a week. I had to go find my own place.
Okay, so now you go into the restaurant. So you
speed
leave
it
the
up.
place.
So after 1994, I went to open a restaurant. So I had a restaurant called Focaccia's in Wilmington, which we brought it to a level. I was on the Food Network. I was on the Phantom Gourmet.
Yeah, I was about to say to you, like, so you've been on, you and wait, it's not just you, it's you and your brother.
Me and my
correct?
brother, yes.
All right, so I know that you said, you showed me some clips, you were on the Food Network. So are you a self-taught chef?
Yes. So I actually went to school. I went to culinary school and I got kicked out because I have a big mouth. Not that you can tell, but what happened was I was going to Cambridge Culinary. Roberta Hirschon was the director, and she wanted everybody to write a business plan so they can open their own restaurant.
Wow.
And I said, Roberta, you're teaching these people wrong. You're lying to them. She says, what are you talking about? I said, the banks are never going to lend me, Mary, Joe, $1 million to open a restaurant when 85% fail. She's like, I said, maybe in 1969 when you open your place, a monkey would get money to open a restaurant, but they don't do that anymore.
It's true.
That doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. She's like, Pete, I don't like the way you talked. She's like, well, I said, just give me my certificate and I'll leave. So she wrote me a certificate and I left. But I was taught by my aunt.
Well, you're Italian.
My cousin Vinny, his mother taught
Italian.
me. So we learned by trial and error. But we listened to everybody and we just try different recipes, and people come in, and we made a very successful place out of
How many years did you have it?
20 years.
Holy shit.
We built it. We had a 100-seat restaurant. We were doing $2 million a year. We had a function facility. We did all the Boston Bruins practices, because at Wilmington, that's where they practice. We did all their events. We did the Red Sox events. I did Mark Wahlberg's movie premiere, The Fighter.
Yeah.
We brought Hollywood to Wilmington.
Wait. So you have this restaurant, it becomes successful. You get fired from Squire. At what point does he give you the phone call and was like, yo, I need you back?
Oh, he called me back a year after. So he called me back in 1995. Just bought the Golden Banana. I need a manager. I said, perfect. Tell the lawyer to write up the contract, 15%. He goes, yeah, really? I said, I told you. You taught me.
So now you still own the restaurant.
Still own the restaurant.
You're still cooking. And
still cooking. And now he wants me to go manage the Golden Banana.
Wow.
But that didn't happen because he didn't want to pay me. He didn't want to be stubborn. So I said, okay, I'll stay in the restaurant business. Unfortunately, he passed away. God rest his soul. He was a great gentleman. And I bought the Golden Banana almost 19 years ago from his kids.
Oh.
And then he also owned the Squire. And about 10 years ago, when they decided to retire, we bought the Squire from them.
And when we say we, by the way,
Me and my brother.
You and your brother.
So we're like one.
So this is like a family business as well.
Yes, it is.
All right, cool. All right, so you and your brother are running the restaurant. You guys are doing so you guys are killing it. You're doing it. And now you acquire these gentlemen clubs. Was there ever like conflict of interest, or people were like, oh man, like they own a restaurant, oh they also, because you know how society is, right? And you know how people like, so like I do have friends as well who own real estate, gentlemen or whatever, or I have older people and they're like, oh, you're friends with an owner of a strip club or whatever. Like, did you ever think that ever with some of your other restaurant clients, like you said you had the Bruins or Red Sox, did that ever like?
Luckily today, speed up. So today it's more acceptable to have a gentleman's club than it was years ago. So when I was in it back in 1987, guys would park at Johnny's Food Master across the street, put a baseball cap on, sunglasses, walk across the street. The place would be empty, but there'd be 300 people inside the building.
Oh my God! Just because they would go a cock-needle and they want anyone to know that they were going
there.
Oh my God!
But today's society is, they want to rap about it. They want videos about it. Half my clientele now are women that want to be there. Cardi B worked for us before she became famous. And she's all about the strip club and the entertainment industry. People want to be seen to be there.
In the strip club.
They want to be seen like VIP status. They want the VIP room. They want to make it rain. They want to throw the dollars, all that.
Where's the gun?
The gun. We forgot the gun.
Oh, man.
Next time, we'll bring the gun. We'll light it up. We'll bring some dancers and we'll bring the gun. We'll be all set.
I'm going to need a private dance on Via Talk, honey. If I don't get a private dance on Via Talk, I don't know.
I'll give you a dance now if you want, but it'll be a male dance.
Okay, so.
But the perception, what you're saying is, to get back to it, there are a lot of people that shun you because of the business you're in. And if anybody knows who I am, I never did a drug in my life, never smoked marijuana. I'm strictly all about business, all about the dollar. And I learned from people, like, for instance, if you did something in your coffee business and you said this promotion work, I would change it to my business and try it to work.
Right.
So I always look at everybody, and the perception is like, oh, you run that type of business. Well, oh, what's wrong with that type of business? And I'll give you an example. I was in the restaurant business for 20 years.
Right.
When I built the Golden Banana, we ran out of money, me and my brother. We could not afford a desk or a desk chair. Now, I was in the restaurant business for 20 years. I had girls that started me at 15 years old. They developed families. They bought brand new cars. They bought houses. They sent their kids to private
15
school.
15 years old, though. Isn't that
No, that's at the restaurant.
Oh, at the restaurant.
So I'm building up to the story about how the difference between people don't shun a restaurant, but they shun a nightclub.
Okay.
So the people at the restaurant business, I made these people millions of dollars. Not one person ever bought me a Christmas present in the restaurant business. And I made them millions. When I opened up the Golden Banana, they knew we ran out of money. We didn't have a desk chair. Every waitress that worked for me bought me and my brother a desk chair.
Aww.
Now, you go to it and you're like, well, they're risque, or everyone thinks, oh, there's all sex parties going behind closed doors, or they're all orgies. The girls in the restaurant business were more risque than anybody in the nightclub business, and that goes for till today.
Well, first of all, they say like traveling nurses, or they say teachers happen to be more the biggest, I hate to say the word, H-O-E-S.
I'll say
but
hoe.
hoes, then say, but okay, perfect example, me, you know, I'm now open about what I did, but I was a dancer, right? And same thing, like when I was raising Chanel in the early 2000s, that's when she was born, you know, people would chatter, whatever. My adopted mother and my father knew about it all the time. But, you know, I would be working till 3 a.m, get home 4 or 5, right? And then take Chanel to school, whatever, right? I was also coaching girls soccer, you know, and I would hear the mothers or whatever. And so I had to kind of, as you know, because I'm a single mother, because I'm a young mother, I had to kind of really hide the fact. I'm like, yeah, I work at the club, but I'm like, I'm a bottle girl or something like that, right? But it's true. Everyone thought and swore because I worked in a gentleman's club that I had all these men. It was like, no, I want to hide in my blanket and never come out. Like I had no men. Actually, I was so busy raising my kid that like I didn't even have time. And to me, my mindset as a dancer was like, honey, if you're not paying me, what's the point of hanging out with you? Like,
because you're all about collecting the money,
right? Because like everything for me started becoming transactional. And again, I don't know, let's just say future self, like, I don't know if that's healthy for me, because to me, even now with a man, I'm very much like, what are you bringing to the table? And like, I'm just like, date for love. I'm like, because I see my poor adopted mother who married for love and got left with debt, right? So when I see these things, I'm like, ooh, like.
Well, society's changed now. I mean, unfortunately, everybody's all about the red bottom shoes and who's paying for who's paying for what.
Right.
But to get back to the stigma, the original question you mentioned about people shunning you, the fact here is...
But they shun the women too, though.
Absolutely, they shun the woman. But stay in your lane and walk in their shoes. When bills come in, you got to pay your bills.
Right. And
when you're raising a child by yourself and the guy's not paying child support, what are you supposed to do? Right,
exactly. And then that's another thing too. Like, you know, people, I was in, you know, here I was, a full-time college student at Salem State, playing on the women's soccer team, living off campus, living off Pell Grant and welfare money, and me and my daughter on welfare. Like, and then if I get a job, say at that time Dunkin' Donuts paying me $7, I was gonna lose my welfare and my housing. So I had to do something under the table to get me and my daughter out of there. And people have no idea, because the whole system, even let's just say welfare or all that system, is just set up against you. So these women, unfortunately, now let me ask you this then. Do you think that prostitution should be legal?
1,000%.
Me too.
And the reason why they won't legalize prostitution...
But tell me why you think it should be legal.
Number one, a woman should have control over her body. So if she decides she wants to do what she wants with her body and pay for it, I believe it would be safer. There'd be less diseases. And the marriage thing in the world is a big money maker. They make a lot of money in marriages, and all of a sudden they're making more money in divorces. So if they legalize prostitution, what person would need to get married? It's all about making the money. And if they legalize marijuana, everyone said, they'll never legalize marijuana. What's coming next? I guarantee you, the next 10 years, you're going to see prostitution legal.
I hope so. I've said this before when I had two of my friends, they were only fangirls.
Yep.
And I believe the reason why I believe prostitution should be legal, though, is, for instance, like I was saying, Joe Schmo, right, go meets Mary, who's a prostitute, right? And he could be a teacher, he could be a great husband, he could be a lawyer, whatever. But if he gets caught hiring a prostitute, he'll get convicted with that whole sex trafficking. That's gangster, that's a gangster charge, right? And same thing with this woman. If these women are prostitutes, right, and let's just say a man, right, starts to rape them, like now they feel more safe where they can call 911 and say, hey, he's doing something against my will. But there's nothing to protect these women. And like, I have a few friends, like I know this one woman, and she does this whole nonprofit against like sex workers and this and that. Mind you, she's never been a sex worker. So to me, I'm just like, I roll my eyes about it. And I'm like, I think that if we actually legalize prostitution, we'll protect the real sex workers, any women who are really held against their will. Because like you said, there's a lot of women out here who this is what they want to do.
100%. But and understand something. You would have the number one business in the world
is always sex.
Is sex trafficking right now.
Yeah.
It outdid the drugs. Drugs used to be the number one business in the country, in the world. Now it's sex trafficking. The reason is because you can only sell cocaine once. You can sell a body multiple times, and they're putting people in danger. If you legalized it, the danger would be gone.
But yeah, because we can really
And you
focus
can
on the
control
ones
it.
against the will,
And
against
tax
the kids.
it.
Yeah.
Tax it, pay the taxes. That's what bottom line, the government wants their taxes.
Yeah.
So pay to keep the people safe. They're doing it now anyhow, sex
Right.
trafficking. It's the number one business in the world.
Right.
It's been going on for 100 years. It's not stopping.
Right. So speaking of that, now let me ask you this, since the whole big topic right now that's happening is like Diddy is being crucified with all his quote like crazy parties and all that stuff, right? And then now you being in the strip clubs, right? It's like, obviously, you've seen political figures in your clubs. You've seen entertainers in your clubs. You've seen professional athletes in your clubs, right? It's like,
I'm like a doctor. I have HIPAA laws. I can't talk about it.
right. This is what I'm saying, right? So it's like, this is what I mean. It's like almost like where the sex, drugs, alcohol, it's taboo, it's celebrated, but then at the same time, it's like you're not supposed to do it, right? And I remember even me when I danced, like, I mean, there was politicians, there was athletes, there was all that, you know what I mean? And it was just crazy because it's like they want to crucify it, but the industry it'll always happen. It'll always be.
Absolutely.
So it's like
sex, drugs, and rock and roll is going to be there forever.
Yeah. Okay. So now let me ask you this now. How has OnlyFans and all of these things affected your business, and how does prostitution affect your business?
OnlyFans doesn't affect my business.
Okay.
Because OnlyFans, what people don't understand is it's a full-time job. In order to make real money in OnlyFans, you would be working 70, 80 hours a week. You have to have a team. Mm-hmm. People don't want to put the energy and the time into it. Now, what hurts me is, for instance, we had a beautiful casino come to Everett, Encore.
Ugh.
Okay? Everyone's like, oh, it's going to come to town. It's going to give you so much business. They didn't give me $1. And the reason why they give me $1 is because they're letting prostitution run wild inside the casino.
And honey, I seen the prostitutes in there. No bueno.
Nasty.
They need to retire.
Nasty. They need a weave. They need to do a facial. But the problem is they want to treat it like Vegas in Everett. And if they shut that down, I would be busier. Why would you want to go to my place and spend the money to get nothing?
Right.
When they can walk into the casino, get free drinks, go to the room upstairs and get whatever they want.
So in the state of Massachusetts, to be clear, too, I go in to get a lap dance. Am I still not allowed to touch?
No touching allowed.
Really?
Yes.
So what's the fee?
There really is no fee. I mean, basically, like I keep telling everybody, a woman makes more money with her clothes on than her clothes off. So if she does the illusion, it's entertainment.
Exactly.
So it's all of the eroticness of the dance. You don't have to just completely naked. I mean, to me, it's boring.
Peter, let me tell you something.
Yes.
When I worked first of all at Foxy Lady. Shout out to Foxy Lady, and they loved me so much where they used to fly me to their club in Florida too. I was like, quote,
that was the club back in the day.
Yeah, I was like, quote, a premier girl, right? So they flew me back and forth. I never really ever had to take anything off. All my clients were high-end, very businessman clients. And what I used to do is I used to read the Wall Street Journal every day. So I would know how to speak to them about like current events, stocks, this and that. And they'd be like, holy shit. You know, and I had 3 years of college
too. Did you get an inside trading?
Right. Hey, we will not be talking about anything. I mean, like that.
So anyway, be like Martha Stewart right now.
Right. So anyway, though, but like in some of these, and at that time too, I was obviously more voluptuous in being in the clubs. There was like these very Barbie doll looking skinny, you know, whatever. And they'd be like, damn. And I would literally go in. It was almost like I was their
therapist. You had the BBL before the BBL was existing.
Right. And I was like their therapist. Right? And that's exactly it. I would just listen to these men talk about how they hate their marriage or they're not happy with their job or whatever. And quote, we would be sipping champagne, but I would always be like, pour me some apple juice up in there, right?
Don't give the trade secret away.
But that's what I'd be trying to tell these girls, right? Like, and now I've been in your club, right? Squire, or in the clubs currently. I can't stand how they just come out with nothing.
Well, back in the day,
you had to wear gowns.
First of all, you couldn't get on stage unless you had a $3,000 dress on.
Yes.
The house mother had to check your hair out. If you were blonde, you had to get written permission to change your hair to black.
Yes.
Your nails had to be done on point. If not, you got sent home. Today, they come out of the dressing room naked and then they put their clothes on.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
This is, and so to me, I think that
There's no erotic. There's no,
and I hate to say it, ladies, if y'all strippers out there, y'all need to listen to this. You guys.
Take a class from Peter.
Listen, no, take a class from me too. Shit, let me tell you something. There was a pimp, I'll never forget, and he was my boy, right? And we used to be cool, and he used to be like, V, listen, he was like, you're so beautiful. There's something about you. I ain't even going to try to pimp you out. He was like, but let me tell you something. He's like, you always got to sell the sizzle, but never give up the steak, right? And that shit always, I was like, yo, okay. So like, even I know now, like even in all that I do in life, right, with business, and yes, I'm selling coffee, and yes, I'm selling chocolate, and yes, whatever. I always know that when I step out to, I know men want to have sex with me. End of story. Once a woman can
there'll be women out there too that want to do it.
Women too, right? Once you put that in your brain, you say, okay, this is what it is. Then you know how to deal with your sexual energy, and you know how to control it, right? And I think that sometimes these women they're just giving it away too much. Especially what I'm seeing is when I go to the strip clubs, right? It's like, what is this? Like, you guys are just, you coming out and everything's naked. You're already naked. Why do I even want to throw some dollars at you?
So a funny story, one of the old time dancers, Anita, who worked for the Squire before I owned it, she found out that me and my brother bought the place, and she was so happy. She brought down her whole wardrobe. I'm talking $40,000, $50,000 worth of clothes.
Oh my God.
She said, Peter, please give this to a new dancer. And I said, Anita, they don't dance this way anymore. She was like, what? She would have to dance 20 minutes and couldn't get naked until the last 2 minutes of her set.
Yeah.
I mean, she came out with butterfly costumes, bows. It was more like a Moulin Rouge type of atmosphere. They had different themes, and they would practice with choreographers. And it was just amazing.
So how do you feel about that now? Like, do you ever have meetings with your dancers and you're like, ladies, like, what the hell, man?
I have meetings all the time, and they don't want to listen. They think that they have to get completely naked to have it make it rain on them, and they want to post how much money they made online, and they just want to consume how much in one time. They're not looking at the long game. They're looking at just that night. And if you entertain the carrot in front of the horse, you're going to make more money longevity. So they should tease the guy, get him to come back Monday,
right?
Get him to come back Tuesday.
You want to have
get
clients.
Him to come back Thursday.
That's how you get clients.
Exactly.
Oh man, sometimes I just, hey, are you gonna hire me so I can come back and teach you?
You want to come out of retirement? We'll do a little feature dance. We'll do a Via night.
No, don't even start.
We'll pick you up on a private airplane, and I'll be all safe like you're flown back in Florida.
Don't tell me though, kinda.
Absolutely.
But speaking of that, you know what I absolutely love about strip clubs? I love, which I definitely have seen them step up throughout the years, the pole tricks.
Oh, it's hard.
It's hard. When I see women on the pole doing these things, because I know I work out, to see you straight like this in your core, I'm like, shit.
You know how hot it is? So me and my brother put a new pole at the Golden Banana when we first opened it, and we got it tight. We wanted to make sure it worked. So I tried to climb the pole. I got all black and blues on my arm. My brother swang, cracked his nuts off the pole. He couldn't walk for 2 days. And imagine these people, the way they spin upside down, they stop, or they slide from the top of the pole and stop right before they hit the floor. I'm always like, here goes my workman's comp. It's going up. I'm so nervous. Yeah,
that's crazy. Like, that alone right there is just, so I always say too, like, I always suggest too, I'm like, I just wish that every woman in United States too, I wish that they could just be a dancer for a month. And let me tell you why, a few things. One, it teaches you how to deal with rejection. Right? So when you're always going up to a man, hey, would you like a dance? No, I'm too busy. Hey, would you? No. There's a lot of these women right now, just regular women, they lack confidence, right? Or like they can't take no, right? But when you're a dancer, you're constantly dealing with rejection too. Obviously, it helps you love your body more because you're damn near naked all the time. So to me, I can honestly say I will. And 3, you're walking in heels all the time. So it teaches you how to walk in heels all the time.
And I'll teach you to be the best salesman in the world.
Hey, this is what I'm saying. So I always say, I'm like, if you ladies only knew that, like, for me, I'm not going to sit here and ever degrade where I came from or what I did in life, but being a dancer has definitely helped me in life. I did ballet, but because I had, like, obviously trained dancing, but just also being a dancer as an exotic dancer, and it helped me deal in a world, a business of men. I always had to deal with men in the clubs. And now I know what time it is when I'm in the, quote, real world civilian life, right?
Civilians.
Civilian life, right? And we're not in the strip club. So, you know, to me, I just think that, like, being a dancer, like, it helped me so much in life. And, like, I mean, I'm just not ashamed. Before, back in the day, I had to hide it. My daughter's 24 now. She knows everything, but I had to, like, you know, protect her. Now, speaking of kids, are you a father?
Yes, I am. I have 2 beautiful children.
Okay.
My daughter's 24. My son's 23.
I know your daughter and my dad are the same age.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. How is it, would you want your daughter to be a dancer?
I mean, if she wanted to, I don't think she's built for it, but I don't have a problem if she wanted to be a dancer because she controls her own body. But it depends what she's looking for. I mean, don't forget, this was a lot of dancers became a stepping stone to other business. I mean, I must have put 50 nurses through nursing school working for me. And it's funny how, you know, people talk about dances or they talk about this, and I go to a hospital to visit, you know, a cousin, and there's a dancer that used to work for me, and she's a nurse, and I'm like, I just give her the wink. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, good for her. That's people. But if they ever knew that she was a dancer, they wouldn't let her take care of her.
Yeah.
You know?
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. And then, I mean, I had my kids were young when I had to go on the banana. My kids thought it was a fruit stand. So they would come by. They would come by, and I would have a folded table with fruit out front just to come by and say hello to dad at work. And I give them bananas. I give them some apples and stuff like that. And then my daughter got about 13 or 14. She texts me and she's like, Dad, Auntie Shawnette doesn't work at a fruit stand. And I'm like, you want to talk about it? And I said, you know, these people that come work for me, they work for me on their own.
Right.
I don't force them to work for me. They choose to come here. This business has been here for 52 years. I didn't invent it. So
so you are a father, you have a son and you have a daughter. How did your daughter, and how do people like, oh, you have a daughter and you in this industry, like, so how did your daughter feel about it now being 24?
My daughter loves it because, I mean, today it's acceptable. I mean, back, what are we at, 224? So let's say 2013 or 2014.
No, she was a teenager.
Cosmopolitan magazine rated the strip clubs were saving so many marriages. Therapists would actually tell a husband and wife, you have a problem, go to a strip club.
Really?
And I can't find, I'll find it next time I come on your show. I'll try to find the copy of the issue, but that saved a lot of marriages. People don't understand it. Like the Golden Banana, if you walk in the clientele, you would notice a lot of girlfriends and boyfriends, husband and wives come there.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So you're saying that the
there's no stigma around it anymore.
No, but, so you're saying the strip clubs, they'll provide this like erotic fantasy for couples?
Correct.
Okay. And so
they can sit there and say, well, she looks good. Oh, no, he looks good.
Because you feel like when they go in, right, they go into this establishment, right, that where a women's fantasy, let's just say she's whatever, a teacher, she's a lawyer, she's whatever, a secretary, it's more accepted now if she wants to have that girl-on-girl fantasy, let's just say.
100%.
Or them two together. So that's another thing. So it's like, this is, again, it's like, so society is so against, like, God forbid, sexual energy or expressing yourself or polygamy relationships, right? But so it's more acceptable when you go into these gentlemen's clubs.
Today it is.
Okay.
So now people are pulling up front, they're Facebooking, hey, meet me at the Banana or meet me at Tens or meet me at the Squire. It's more acceptable. People go there to pregame before they go to a concert in Boston or go to a Bruins game. And after the Bruins game, if they win or a Celtics game, they all come back because they know the athlete's going to be there.
Right.
If they win a game, they're loaded up with athletes, the place.
Yeah.
So it's more acceptable today. And I'll give you, I mean, it's a funny story, but I had a school teacher that danced for years and no one knew she was a school teacher. She couldn't give the money up. She was so addicted to the money.
Of course.
But she had a moral clause that she couldn't get caught.
Of course. You can't be teaching my fifth grader history. And then you go to the strip club.
Exactly. So it's the perception that people think they have that there's sex going on in the back room and the champagne room doesn't exist.
Yeah, but I will say this, maybe in Massachusetts, one of the reasons why I did stop, I'm going to be honest with you, is when the Brazilians and the Colombians, and shout out to my beautiful Brazilian Colombian queens and Venezuelans, y'all are beautiful. But when y'all just came right off the boat into Providence, Rhode Island, and in Providence, I think prostitution is legal.
Inside it's legal.
Okay, so again, I went from sitting here like, just talking, and all of a sudden these women just they fucked up the industry. They were just giving it up. They were like, "Oh, I'll do this for you for $200, like
$250, $60. They ruined it.
They ruined it.
They're fighting all each other crazy.
They ruined the game, and that's so for me. I was like, "Oh no," because now I started getting propositioned all the time inside, and I went from like, "Whoa," I was going to the champagne room making $2,000 to hang out and talk and and sip my fake champagne that was apple juice.
Let's not give away the secrets, please.
And now I'm like, what is this? So, maybe in the state of Massachusetts, it's a great thing. Like you said.
Massachusetts is a bar room with naked women. Mm-hmm. Other companies, other places, Vegas, Florida, they're strip clubs. No. Down and dirty.
And the kind of prostitution clubs.
100%.
100%.
But they all get away with it.
Yeah, they do. And that's another reason why I didn't like to go back and forth Florida. So when they would fly me out, they would put me up. I'd say, I only want to do a dance. So I do like dance features. I could never go in and actually do like that one time and be like, I want to dance, because the way they were touching and groping you, and it was just like, it was too much. And that can be a lot. So then
especially when you're a bacterial freak and you want to be clean all the time. You're wiping your hands.
Cringe. Exactly. So, what was I going to say to you? So, okay. So do you actually also own the real estate of these places?
Yes. So
you're like McDonald's for the strip clubs, bitch.
Not yet. We're moving that way. We'll see what happens.
Because you know how McDonald's owns the real estate.
They're in the real estate business.
So you own the Squire real estate, you own Golden Banana real estate, and then you also own the Tens.
Yes.
Now, where's Tens?
Tens up in Salisbury Beach.
And then
we're actually changing the concept up there. It's more of an entertainment mecca, because we just got approved for an outdoor patio where we're putting live music. We're putting cornhole. We're making like an outdoor destination spot, so you don't have to go there just for the dances.
So look out for some Via Guatemala Espresso Martinis coming your way.
We can put a nice card out there in the summertime.
Yeah, in the summertime, honey.
Espresso slush.
Exactly. Ooh. Espresso ice cream.
Yes.
We're coming up with all the ideas right now. This is what I'm talking about. So, okay, so that's even better. So now, okay, so let me ask you this next question. Okay, so I want to go in. I'm having a bachelor party. Do you get a lot of bachelor and bachelorette parties?
Yes.
How does that work?
So people call ahead and they can get the VIP section, or if there's a certain DJ that day, they'll follow the DJ. Like 2 weeks ago, we just had a great DJ on stage with a drummer. So the live drummer,
ooh,
he played all the music. I mean, we did your painting.
Oh yeah. By the way, guys, I did the sex paint series at Golden Banana. It was actually a really great event.
Great event. People loved it. Everyone came down with something different. So
I had all my paintings hanging down, which was really cool. It was all the different women with the sexual positions. The dancers took pictures with it. It was great. And then I had one of the dancers do a show. She did a really nice pole, and then I had a female rapper go on stage, and then I did a show. I did a performance. You missed it.
I saw the videotape.
You saw the video. It was good, right?
Old school.
Old school. So and anyway, no, it was called Dirty Horrors. Me rap. It wasn't old school. So anyway, my point is though, you guys. So okay, so how much is for a bachelor party? Someone wants to do a bachelor party. Like, what are the prices? And then
so it depends on the night. It depends on the DJ. So a table can go anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000.
What do I get with that?
You got the table. You got a couple of bottles. Get all the refreshments.
No dances included.
Dances, that's something different.
Okay.
That you'll have to bring. That you'll have to negotiate with them. They're their own people.
Okay, so you could get some bottles. You could get the section, and then boom, the dances. Yes. And then is it the same price for bachelor and bachelorette?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you still do that whole bring the man up on the stage
We
thing?
do that too. So we can do a bachelor dance where we put the guy up on stage and we kind of embarrass him, smack him with a belt. His friends will laugh at him and stuff like that, take pictures.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah. So then.
But there's not, so they're doing like Jack and Jill's now. So they don't even do like bachelor party or a bachelorette party. They're doing it together.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because girls are just too jealous of their man, so they don't want them to go by themselves.
I know. I asked Justin because Justin said he's going to a bachelor party, and I was like, "Are you going to do a little something on the side?" He was like, "No."
They're all doing it together now. I'm going to corrupt them all.
I don't know. I'm kind of at the point in my life where I'm like, I'm not jumping ship if my man does something. Just use protection. I don't even care anymore.
You have to have trust in a relationship, though. That's not the situation.
Of course, you have to have trust, but meaning like I'd rather have him tell me and be like, "Yo, there's this super baddie, and she's on me, and she just kind of wants to like give me head."
Well, she better be in Rhode Island because I'm going to get shut down.
Okay, so you have these 3 clubs. Now, how did you do during COVID?
Terrible.
Really?
They put us. They almost put us out of business.
Really?
It cost me $2.1 million to stay closed, and we got 0 PPP money from the government.
Yeah.
JRM, the rubbish company, never closed one day.
Yeah, because that's essential.
They got $27 million.
Holy shit.
$27 million, never closed one day.
So you could have said that you were essential for helping marriages.
I should have, but they didn't give it. They want to give it to us due to the prudent nature of our business.
Wow.
How do you even spell prudent? What does it mean? But other companies,
you know, prudent is some like old British English. This is
no one knows what it means today. You know, with their tea sipping with their finger up in the air. But a lot of other companies across the country, they got millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So how do you pick and choose which club you're going to give money to and which club you're not?
But then again, though, what did we talk about? Sex, drugs, alcohol, right? So like, you know, but then again, methadone clinics probably got money.
$10,000 a month they pay for rent.
Oh, what, methadone?
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, this is another thing I want to talk about. Okay. So what is the drug policy in your clubs? Like if you find out a girl's doing...
So I'm a different type of breed. I mean, I have police dogs that come in and they check all the lockers. So if they get caught, they get arrested. One of the clubs we took over had a big problem with drugs, and I'm a maniac. I would take Vaseline and I would put it on all top of the toilets, the napkins, the Vaseline. I put it on the counters.
So they couldn't do no lines?
So if they put their drugs on it, it sticks. They get mad. So they know it's me, you know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden they see a dog coming in, everyone starts running. So I send the dogs in randomly just to check lockers.
You really?
Oh, I'm a nut. I have a 0 policy on drugs, and I'll give you a perfect example. What happened to my brother? A girl was crushing an Adderall, and she said to my brother, "Excuse me, you can't fire me. I'm prescribed this." My brother goes, "I'm going to entertain this. When you come back with your doctor's note and the doctor says you can crush it up and sniff it, I'll give you your job. Until then, pack your shit and get out." So we're very strict on the drug policies. The drugs aren't there like people presume to be there.
I don't know. Maybe not now, but I'm gonna be
back in the day.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. One of the other main reasons why I actually ended up getting fired, and it was my time to go anyway because I was over the whole shit. But I saw I was in Actual Desire. And she took Special K.
I had that bought back in 1994. I'll tell you that story after.
She took Special K, which if you guys don't know, it's a ketamine. It's for horse tranquilizers. She took that, a bunch of other things. And I remember I was doing my makeup. I'm like this, blah, 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 right? Doing my makeup. And she's next to me. She's like, and she did that. And I don't know, God knows what. So I called 911. And they got so mad at me because the police had to come and all that. But I'm not going to lie. The drug use that I saw as a dancer, it made me so sad because I felt like these women were just using drugs just to go buy the latest Louboutins or the latest like Gucci's or purses. Again, maybe because you're working, like you're on the higher, but for me being a dancer on the inside, the things that I saw in the women, it made me really sad. Because
I'm not naive. I mean, there is a drug problem out there, but if we find out they're on hardcore drugs, we send them to rehab first. We have a lot of connections with rehabs.
Do you really?
We help them out. If they clean, they can come back. Our managers are very tuned to it. Unfortunately, we have all Narcan. Everyone's trained in Narcan in our building.
No way.
All my security staff. So it is a big problem, but the same problem can happen at the 99 restaurants.
Oh, of course. The same problem can happen. I mean, listen, I have a classmate, God rest his soul, in high school, and he was a student aid teacher, and he died. He overdosed on fentanyl. So it can happen anywhere.
When I was in the restaurant business, more waitresses took Adderall than anybody I've ever seen take drugs in my life. Because they're doing 3 shifts. They just keep constantly working. You know what I'm saying? And Adderall's overused today. Even house mothers are taking it just to lose weight.
Yeah, Adderall is, by the way, is an amphetamine. So it's like a cocaine. That's why they chop it up and they'll sniff it.
Right, and the problem with Adderall is they made a supply shortage during COVID, so people are buying it off the street.
Yeah.
And they're getting the fake press pills, which is all fentanyl, and that's why they're dying.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're pretty...
So you're really hardcore with that.
We have 300 people that work for me.
Wow.
So out of 300 dances, if you take 10%, that's only 30 girls that have a drug problem.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
Yeah.
If you take something like a Walmart who have 100,000 employees,
Yeah,
at 10%, that's 10,000 drug users. Yeah. So think about it. We're right in line with we're pretty keen to it because we're a small family environment that everybody is they're so tight that they protect each other and they look out and they help each other out.
That's great.
And we don't mind sending you home. If you come in all banged up, you're going home for the night. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it does happen, but not like you used to. I mean, now everyone thinks marijuana is legal, which is another discussion. So everybody's smoking marijuana and all that. So the hardcore drugs, you really don't see that much anymore.
So how old does a woman have to be if she wants to work at your club?
Well, I'm morally obligated to myself. I never hired anybody unless they're 21 years old. I can legally hire you at 18.
Do you do that because you're a father and your daughter?
The reason why I did it is because, number one, I'm a father. Number two, girls cannot think straight at 18 years old. If a girl starts making $1,000 a night at 18, she's never going to work for CVS for $500 a week, take home $275.
She might even quit college and
it
be
ain't
like,
gonna
fuck
happen.
this shit.
She's going to get the golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a perfect example. When I managed a place in 1989, a girl came to me. I said, can I do amateur night? I said, wow, you look so young. How old? She was 18. She had the ID. I said, listen to me. What are you doing this for? She goes, I have to buy a prom dress. I said, how much is the prom dress? She was like $80. I said, wait right here. I went to the cash register. I signed out my name. I took $100 out. Signed so the owner would know I took $100 out. I went to her. I said, listen, my name is Peter Depesa. Here's $100. Don't ever start this business. You go to your prom.
But why do you say that?
Hold on. You go to your prom.
Yeah.
You're 18 years old. You go to your prom. You could pay me $1 a week. You send me money to pay me $100 back. The next night, she came to me. She goes, here's your $100. I said, what you do? I just talked to you for 20 minutes, not to go in this business. You're too young. You can't make the decision. I went to the cabaret and I did amateur night. She goes, but I promise, I'm only going to stay in it to pay my bills. 17 years later.
She's still at the cabaret?
I still see her mother or father. I remember that conversation I had with you? You know what I'm saying? You're only here to pay your bills. How many bills you have at 17 years? So I believe a person's not developed till they're 21, 22, 23 years of age. They have to get that right sense.
Yeah.
It's like the whole problem with the P. Diddy thing. He's getting these 13, 14, 15-year-old girls who want to be, music stars.
Yeah.
And they're throwing the carrot in front of their face.
Yeah.
That they're too young to make that decision.
Yeah.
If you did that to a 25, 30-year-old girl, they'd punch him in the face.
Right.
Because they know how to stick up for themselves.
Right.
They're too vulnerable. So that's why legally, same thing with bartenders. I can legally have you serve alcohol at 18. I don't hire you unless you're 21.
Okay, good
Bar
for you.
back, same thing, 21.
Okay.
That's how I've been for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So.
That's good. Okay, so let me ask you this. Are you hiring any dancers right now?
Absolutely. Come on down. We're taking you out of retirement. We're all set.
Oh, no, not me. I'm good.
Come on down. We'll take them all.
Okay, so he's hiring. That's one. Let me ask you this. Do you do any men's nights, like male strippers?
So male strippers not a big thing anymore because women actually enjoy seeing other women dance. So
yeah, because on some real shit, and I just want women to be more honest with their sexuality. Women like women. End of story. They be like, oh, I don't. Da, 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 da. Yes, you do.
But I did start when I was 16 years old, when I was valeting cars at the Palace. They found out I didn't have a driver's license. They said, how can you be valeting cars without a driver's license? I said, I got 6 more months, I'll get a driver's license. They put me inside to do at the time it was Men in Motion show.
Not Men in Motion.
Men in Motion, then it became Male Encounter. But Men in Motion, they had me do the spotlight. I'm like, I got to go in there and watch these guys dance. What's wrong with this picture?
Right.
The best thing they did for me, I made so much money. Girl came up to me one night. She goes, oh, my God, that's your brother out there. Please give me his phone number. Here's $20. $20 back then was like a $100 bill.
Oh, so you make them pay? Do you make them pay you $20?
So you give me $20. Can I have your brother's phone number? Absolutely. 395-1212. It was the Medford Police phone number. I was selling that for $1,600 a week. I was selling more fake phone numbers to these girls because at the time you would have 700-800 girls go see the show.
No way.
Oh, it was crazy back then. And then I got caught because they sent the Medford Police Department, the detectives, up to the Palace, and they said, you're tying up the 911 line looking for Jim, Brandy, you know what I'm saying, Eddie Parker. You're looking for all these dancers. They said, it's got to be that Depesa kid. He's a hustler. So they came to me and said, Pete, what are you doing? I said, what do you want I'm doing? He goes, Are you selling phone numbers? I said, of course I am. I'm not doing anything wrong. I read the handbook, said nothing about not selling phone numbers. He goes, give me your grandmother's number. I said, you think I want these girls waking my grandmother up at 3 in the morning?
You know, I've never been that type of woman where I'm like, ooh, I need a man's number. That's crazy to me.
So now it gets better. So now the hustle's gone. So how do you go from making $1,600 a week to nothing?
Right.
So I went to Filene's basement.
Not Filene's basement.
Filene's basement. I bought a case of underwear. I go back to my friend's house, Carl and Vinny. The mother had plastic on the dining room table. I have rows of underwear lined up. The mother walks in and goes, what are you doing? Mrs. C, don't worry about it. We get this under control. I was signing autographs. Eddie Parker, Jim, Brandy, all kinds of underwear.
Dancers.
So that night I go to work. I get the hustle on. I say to the girl, what are you doing? How many girls you with? Oh, 10. $10 a piece. I'll get you autograph underwear. They get $10 from the girl. Give me 100. Who do you want? I want Eddie. Carl, give me an Eddie. Bang, gives me an Eddie.
Get out of here.
I was selling $2,400 a week in fake underwear.
Okay, so back to hustles. What did you do during COVID then? What was your hustle like if you had to shut down and pay? What did you do?
So COVID, I actually went back. Took a class to study how to spray for the COVID virus. So I was actually like a chemist. So I had a stock that skyrocketed during COVID. I'm like, what is this all about? Where are we making this money? It was a chemical company. So I called the owner up. I said, what do you do? He goes, we have the product that stops COVID. You spray it on the counter and nothing can grow on it. It's like a magnetic static. So it was called Safety Shield. So I opened a company called Safety Shield, and I would go spray hospitals, and I spray restaurants, people's houses, and so that's what I had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Good for you.
I try to sell Christmas trees in the parking lot. They shut that down. I try to sell food out of the place. They shut that down.
Wait, they shut down you selling? Yeah.
On my own parking lot, I couldn't sell Christmas trees.
You can't sell Christmas trees for fucking Christmas.
I'm trying to hustle here.
At the strip club, Doc.
So so I ended up going back to class and I opened my own company spraying for the virus.
Okay, so you did that.
And I also flip house in the daytime. So we had a big project in East Boston. I took a 2-family down, me and my brother Robert, and I have a little brother, Anthony. We all developed a house. We dropped the house and put 7 condos up.
Wow.
So I made money doing that.
Wow. So you are like the ultimate hustler.
You had to pay the bills.
Yeah. So during the shutdown, you still had to pay because you own the real estate. So you had to pay all the mortgages.
You had to pay the insurance.
The insurance, yeah.
You had to pay the workman's comp. You still had to pay the electric bill. You still had to pay the mortgages. So it was a lot of bills.
Wow.
Adds up fast.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow. That's all right. So how much do you now think that you're worth your 3 businesses, your 3 gentlemen clubs?
Do I have to publicly say that?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I can give you an example. Centerfolds in Boston, which is a club.
Oh, yeah, I remember Centerfolds.
It's a great
in Boston.
club.
Yeah.
They got offered to be bought out for $20 million.
Really? Did they sell?
They sold to a developer. They didn't sell to a strip club. So if I had to ask,
because now they're building developers
the high rises.
Yeah, high rises.
So what's the closest club?
Is it even there anymore?
Well, it's still there.
They're in the Glass Slipper.
Yeah, but they have a 2-year lease left before they close.
Ah.
So when that closes, the closest strip club to Boston now is the Squire.
Oh wow, because you're in Revere.
So I would have to say it's going to be worth $20 million.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Because that right there.
You want to write me a check?
Okay, so, but you have that, you have Golden Banana, and then you have Tens, right?
Yes.
So if I got the money, and let's just say there's anybody out there who got some money, and you're like, I don't want to do this, and how much is the bag? How much you willing to walk away from your businesses?
$70 million.
70?
Yeah.
Okay, and that means...
If you find something, I'll give you 10%.
Wait. Okay, so y'all hear that? This is on record. I'm the broker, I get 10% of this deal.
Absolutely.
So, wait, they'll get the businesses, they'll get the strip clubs, and they'll get the real estate. Or will you still own the real estate?
No, real estate goes with it because no one's going to spend that much money on a business to be able to rent.
To rent.
So you got to understand something. The property alone, the Squire property is going to be worth $4 to $5 million. So the Tens property, just to build that building again, it's 18,000 square feet. To build it today, it probably cost you $7 million just to build it.
Honestly, if I was a developer, I would buy the Squire, and definitely, because you're right near you're in the Rotary, you're right near Boston. I would definitely put a luxury apartment building up there.
Or a hotel, 100%.
Or a hotel, 1,000. Yeah, it's 100%. Right there.
They're building across the street. Harley Davidson put 200 apartments. They built, my friend Ray built 22 luxury apartments behind my parking lot.
Wait, is that movie theater still there?
No, Amazon bought them out for $200 million.
Is Amazon off?
Amazon has a big facility there.
Wow. So yeah, you have a really great chance.
So I have a great location for either a developer or a guy to come in for the industry. Like right now, a lot of publicly traded companies are on the stock market that own 70, 80 gentlemen's clubs. They're all looking to come to Boston.
No way.
So they're all taking me and my brother out to dinner. They're entertaining us. They fly us to Vegas. They fly us to Florida. They're trying to get the magic number.
No way.
So we'll see what happens.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Congratulations.
And then I'm going to go in the coffee business.
Exactly. Then he's going to invest in Via Guatemala Coffee.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now, does your son and your daughter work in the industry?
My daughter's a school teacher, and my daughter actually owns her own marquee lettering company called Get Lit.
Which actually, I used her in one of my things. So,
so she does a lot of birthday parties, weddings, anniversaries, where people can say Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Happy Birthday.
Yeah. So what it is that there are these huge numbers and letters, and she can put up the name. So she could put VIA or VGC, which she did for one of my events.
Yeah. So that's her side hustle.
Okay. And what about your son? Does he work in the clubs?
My son actually started working for us a year ago, and he's actually learning. He does all the maintenance in the club. One of the clubs, he does all the IDs, bar backs one night. He's learning everything. Okay. Because he was a mechanic for 5 years. And he's like, Dad, my boss's body, I see my boss, he's 55 years old. He only makes $2 more an hour than me. His body's all built, beat up. He goes, I don't want to be like that. He goes, can I learn the real estate? So we teach him the real estate in the daytime, how to, pull permits, develop, houses and stuff like that. And he was actually a big help for us because my mother, who was a single mother, could never afford her own house. For Christmas time, me and my brother built her a house.
Aww.
And all the grandchildren handed her a house. And my son was a big part of that, pulling the permits, going down to town hall, dealing with the building inspectors, the electrical inspectors. So not only is he learning the nightclub business inside and out, he's also learning the real estate business.
Right. So is there any advice that you would give anybody as far as I don't know if they want to own a gentleman's club, they want to own a strip club, or just, I don't know, about business?
My advice is, always have a goal. At 17 years old, people are on the basketball court. I'm going to be a pro basketball player, or I'm going to be a pro running back. How many people really end up becoming pro?
Like
and their dreams get
0.1%.
shut down.
Yeah.
17 years old, I walked out of that nightclub. I looked up and I said, God, I'm going to own this one day. I fulfilled my goal. I always strive for that goal. I didn't stop. I never gave up. I went for it. And people are like, where'd you come up with the money? How'd you do this? It was millions of dollars. It's so hard to get in that business. I never stopped. If you said no, that meant yes to me. I would hit 22 no's before I said yes. But I've been in business my whole life. I mean, for example, I had my
so my point is that so your advice would be never say no.
Never
take no as an answer. And if
never give
have
up
a dream and never give up on the
dream,
goal.
and the dream will always come true. You can always have a dream. You got to stay focused. But,
so do you believe in manifest?
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. There's a different power out there.
Really?
A real big power out there. And dreams do come true. You just have to put the time and effort into it.
So discipline too.
Yes, a lot of people, they want instant gratification today.
Yeah.
All they look is, okay, I get 1,000 likes on Instagram. Well, you need 100,000 likes. That's a full-time job.
Yeah.
That means you have 2 assistants and you're working full-time. You can't just take one picture or a picture of a food and expect to get 100,000 likes.
Yeah.
It's work. You got to put work into it.
You do.
But I worked 110 hours a week at $2 an hour back in 1987. You know what $2 an hour is?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Right.
So I was disciplined to do it. Kids today, if I said to you, come intern for me, you got to work 50 hours a week for free.
Who's the better hustler, you or your brother?
100% me. I'm better looking and I'm a better hustler.
Oh, shit. Wait. So do you think, so you're the one that brought your brother in?
Yes.
And he saw your drive, so you feel like you influenced his drive, his ambition.
But he also pushes me. My brother is not only the best brother in the world, he is a great partner. because we're like good for each other. Because like he's disciplined. I'm more like the public relations person. He's more like he does the payroll, the books. I handle the problems. I do like the political events. I know how to bring a group together.
Right.
And I'll give we're totally opposite. Like, for instance, a girl once said, there's no way you guys came out of the same wound. Because I'm happy-go-lucky, and he's like all business, serious.
Yeah.
Like, if my mother walked through the door, my mother pays $20 to get in the cover.
Yeah.
My mother wants a drink, my mother pays for a drink.
Yeah, I remember when I had the meeting about the sex paint series. You're like, yeah, everything goes. And he's like, no, wait.
Like, my brother shuts everything down.
Yeah.
But my brother would give my mother the money back after the end of the night. Mom spent $200, my mother would give my brother give the money. But when she walks in that building, she pays for everything.
That's so funny.
So
yeah.
So it's a great partnership. Everything works out good, and you need that. You need the yin and the yang.
Okay, so because they say never get in business with family, but you disagree.
We had our fights. Don't get me wrong. I mean, in the restaurant business, he stabbed me with a French knife because I was going too slow. I mean, we do have our problems, but I'm big into I was big into feng shui before it became feng shui. So I read about feng shui, was the Chinese art of placement, and we were fighting so much. We were going bankrupt in the restaurant business. We were losing our money. He's blaming me. I'm blaming him. We're fist fighting each other. And I'll never forget, one day we were punching each other. He's punching me. I'm punching him. A customer walked in. I got a fat lip. He got a black eye. The customer's looking at us like, it's like, buddy, what do you want for a sandwich? I got to go back fighting this kid. We give him the sandwich. We go back to fight. And I said, this is it. I have my whole place feng shuied. We never fought again.
Okay, so speaking of that, feng shui. Speaking of that, what was the question?
Chinese art of placement and how things develop in a room and how they're supposed to be placed.
Yeah, not just placed, but just I guess like the whole. So you're the one that deals with the customers. You're the one that deals with like the whole ambiance and things like that.
Yes.
Okay.
He's more of the numbers guy. He'll be like, saying he'll write all the bills, he'll write all the checks, he does the payroll, does the insurances. I handle the promotions, I handle the staff, how to, treat the people like VIPs, deal with all the professional athletes.
Yeah.
So, but I have a great staff. I mean, like Brianna and Anthony at the Squire, there's nobody better than them. They handle
speaking of the Squire, hold on. And it goes with my shirt, my little money shirt.
Yes.
I knew what time it was.
I'll have to autograph if I only can pay for the autograph.
Okay, so
then I have Brianna and Anthony at the Squire, and they handle all the pro athletes. They handle the customers coming in, the VIPs. At the Banana, I have Kenny and Rebecca. They're solid. I mean, they've been with me for 20 years each.
Oh, you want to hear my pro athlete story?
Yes.
Okay, so I won't get into who, but
what if I guess it?
So it was this. It was when the Celtics had they did win their championship. So it was 2000 and what? So I forgot. But anyway, they were doing their summer camp in Newport, Rhode Island. So I knew one of them, right? And one of them was like he's like, I want to do a team bonding thing with my players. And he was like, can you get us like a strip club? So I'm in. So, and it's funny because once again, I dance, but I always, because I was so cool with the managers, I always peep game, and I was like, yo, y'all know who I know, right? So they treated me definitely different because they're like, yo, this girl's about her business too.
Right.
So anyway, I had already stopped dancing, but what I did is I said, let me book out this room. So they gave me the room, and then I was in charge. I got all the best dancers, and then you just should have seen the players. They came in with 5-6 racks each, and all the girls. And
a rack's $1,000, just in case you don't know that.
And the girls were like, oh my God. They were like, thank you so much, V, whatever. So, and then the players, they were all together, and that was their team bonding thing. And so what I did is I rented out that whole area for them. They're like, make sure you get us the best dancers. I was like, yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So I brought the ladies in and whatever. And then I was in charge of basically the food. So it was a big, huge room like this, right? And then just the private area, and the dancers came in and everything. So that's my...
So I have a lot of pro athletes. They'll call me up. You say 30 racks. I call it 30,000.
Right.
Because they can't go to the bank and get 30,000.
Right.
They'll call me up. Pete, I'm having a party. We're flying people in. Can I get some money from you? How much you need?
Oh, so you'll provide it.
They'll send the security down. They'll give me the money. I give them the ones.
Ah.
Because it's very hard for them to get the ones out of the bank.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Why?
Go to the bank, try to get 30,000 at once.
Oh yeah.
They make you order it.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't do anything. They don't pre-think ahead.
Right.
We're having a party tomorrow. Where are we getting the money?
But you have the ones.
I have the ones.
Of course, duh. So, all right, yeah. So basically, you were saying in business that if anybody like really wants to be successful at anything, they just have to dream. They have to want.
You have to stick to it. My first business was the limousine business. I went to 22 banks to buy my first limousine. The interest rate was 22% interest. It was like, are you crazy?
Wow.
That was my choice. If I didn't take the interest rate, what'd I do? I'm out of business.
And did you have a limousine?
Yeah, I had a limousine company. Very successful.
Check you out.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we built it up. We sold it. It was great.
Okay. Now, what do you tell these dancers? A lot of these dancers, like, what do you tell them about business and stuff like that?
So we have meetings once every 3 months, and I try to tell the new people, even some of the old people, you're making so much money, you need to have a financial advisor. Take my advice. The money's not going to be there forever. You're going to have a rainy day. Some days are going to pour. So my advice is, if this is going to be a full-time career, you need to get whole life insurance. Develop your own bank. Go get a policy where you're paying $15,000 a year into that policy, because when you turn 50, you'll have $2-3 million in the bank. It's like your own 401k.
Yeah.
So I have
That's great. So you give them financial advice.
I have one manager that listens to me. She has 2 houses now. She has $50,000 in gold. She has her own investment. She has her own insurance policy. And she's only 31 years old.
Holy shit.
So I have another girl that listened to me. This is before I even owned the place, when I was managing it. She bought 1 house a year. And she came and thanked me, her and her parents. She now has 22 houses, no mortgages.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
There are some good stories. I mean,
yeah.
So
let me ask you this. What other investments do you have besides obviously the real estate at the gentlemen's clubs? What other, do you do stocks? Do you do crypto?
I have a mobile bartending company.
Okay, what's
called
that?
Behind the Bar.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
So we talked about that. So I provide bartending service to different events, like we're doing one on Newbury Street for one of the big retail stores. I'll do private events for like John Hancock, people's houses, Halloween parties.
So basically, we can hire you, and you'll bring in the mixologist. You'll provide the liquor, and
we provide the insurance,
everything.
We provide the setup, all that. Oh. I also have an event company called Beantown, where we did the Boston Pizza Festival, City Hall Plaza, 4 years in a row. We set up all the porta potties, all the security, the police details, all the vendors. We served 25,000 people.
That's amazing.
So I've been doing that for a long time, because I'm in the food business. So we'll cater for you for big events. I did a lot of movie premieres, sporting events. So it depends on, if there's money there, I'm going to do it. And my other investment, I'm big into crypto.
How's crypto? What's that? Like I have some in Bitcoin, but what kind of crypto are you in?
So the crypto I'm into a lot of crypto coins like XRP, XLM, HBAR, VeChain. So during COVID, I had nothing else to do but study. So I sold all my stock portfolio, took all the money out of the market, and I bought cryptocurrency.
Wow, that was risky.
So it's a big gamble, but here's what happens. I'm like the venture capitalist people. They invest in 10 things, hoping 2 things hit. So in my 10 coins, if 2 things hit, we're flying private planes, me and you, the rest of our life.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Y'all hear this right here? I belong in private planes, honey.
Absolutely.
All right. So what do you have a shell company for all, like, what is the name of the actual companies for the Gentleman Club? Is it Boston something?
No. So they're all in separate trusts right now. So they're all different trusts. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
the name of the corporation. So
what's your Instagrams? What is it? Golden Banana. Here we have
So we have BostonStripClubs.com.
That's what I was asking
if you go to BostonStripClubs.com, you'll be able to click on all 3 clubs.
Oh,
That's the easiest one to remember.
So BostonStripClubs.com. And then
you can go to every club from there.
Okay. And then this way we can book a reservation. We can do anything.
Book the tables. You can rent the place out privately by yourself. We have a couple people do that. They shut the whole club. They buy the whole club out for the night.
Okay.
They bring their own parties in. We do a lot of rap videos. We do a lot of movie premieres. I mean, we had Spencer for Hire, which was on Netflix with Mark Wahlberg. They rented the Golden Banana. They did a big scene there. They rented that out.
How much do you do for all the music artists? How much is it out there? 2,000, 3,000?
It's usually like for 4 hours, it's $2,500 plus they have to provide insurance, additional insurance in case they burn the place down and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
But if they want to make a deal, I can get a percentage of the record sales. I'm open to anything.
Oh, honey, he is a hustler up in here. Okay. Oh, so that means wait. I gotta have you on air. Hold on, let me go get it. I gotta have you try my chocolate.
Yes.
We need to put it on here. Ooh.
We have a vending machine. We're going to have to stop putting these in the vending machine.
Oh my God.
This would be a big hit.
Yes.
I'm going to get a case of this and put it in the vending machine for you.
You know what I love being on this show about my show is there's these conversations and business ideas just be popping up, and it's just like you guys get to hear it live. But this is what I love being about an entrepreneur, Peter, and I know you can attest to this. I always tell people why I love being an entrepreneur and just networking, because this is what we're doing in a sense too, is we're networking, and anyone that watches, I hope that you guys are learning two totally different opposite businesses, coffee, whatever, but yet, hey, dancers drink coffee, right?
Yes.
But my point is that, honey, you were supposed to wait.
I'm not waiting. It's good. Chocolate.
So my point is though, when entrepreneurs come together and business people come together, we're constantly talking about this is how ideas come about and you exchange. So always surround yourself too with people who are dreamers, people who think big, because this is how ideas are built. Think about how many ideas you and I just talked about on the drive, and just even think about just now, right? We were like, oh, this could be my vending machine, right? There's just so many other things
and
that
I
we
try
get
to
to
teach
learn.
my children, don't burn a bridge, because you never know when you're going to need somebody.
That's true.
Always network, and then people will help each other out.
Yeah. So, again, you guys, you want to surround yourself around people.
Yeah, I have some open. I'm going to take this one home with me.
All right. You want to surround yourself, with people who dream big and people who talk about business and people who say you don't know, like I'm going to have to learn more about the cryptocurrency from you, right? There's just going to be so many things and conversations. And this is why the show's called Conversation Without Limits, because we'll talk about anything and everything, but everything happens too with having conversations and networking.
You have to, but I'm not married to one business. I mean, I have multiple businesses because I'm a business person. You have to diversify.
Let me ask you this though. Yep. Okay, this is gonna be kind of one of our last our end questions. At what point
you're buying dinner tonight? Is that the end question?
Absolutely not. You know how I roll.
Thank God I forgot my wallet.
But you can't use that line anymore. You got your phone, you got Absolutely. Apple Pay, you got
Venmo.
Zelle. It's okay, you can sell me. Or Cash App, or PayPal, honey, you can't use that excuse no more. What I was gonna ask you, oh my God, before we left I was gonna ask you, at what point you have to lay the groundwork. At what point can you diversify and start multiple businesses? Because you can't just spread yourself too thin either. Like at what point? Because you must be so busy with the 3 clubs and now you have these other businesses. So what advice would you tell any other business owner? Like
when you master that one business and you trust somebody to be someone like you and you have good people that you surround yourself with, then that's when you can start diversifying.
So then when you can delegate and say, okay, I have my manager here, I have my people here, then I can go be here.
Correct.
Then, okay, so it's like you have to create the foundation, lay it down, master it.
The infrastructure. You have to
delegate people to work for you, then because you're only one person.
And you have to know everything about the people that work for you. You have to know, do they have a drug habit? Do they have a gambling habit?
Yeah.
All of a sudden the girl shows up with a $200,000 Mercedes and you're like, where'd she get the money?
Right.
I only pay her X amount of dollars.
Right, you're like, who's your man?
You know what I'm saying? So what's going on here? So you have to find out, is she paying for herself or she have a side hustle?
Right.
Is that side hustle giving away my booze?
Or is that side hustle going to affect me and my business? Is she a fucking scammer?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And we caught a lot of people. I mean, we could do that for another show, how I caught people credit card scamming, stealing money, adding their own bills. I mean, that's a whole different topic.
No, that's something we could talk about now. So a lot of people have stolen from you.
Absolutely, 100%. I had one of my closest friends. We just bought him a company car, and we saw they stole $200 from us. And we watched the camera, and I watched him for 7 weeks in a row, taking $200 every week. And I went to him, I said, hey, you back on drugs? He goes, no, I'll take the piss. I said, will you take a drug test for me? He goes, yeah. So I took out a pair of scissors and I go to cut his hair. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I already know you can pass the pee test, but you can't pass the hair test. His answer was, why'd you stop me the first week? You were my friend. You were my friend. I didn't care about the money. I would put you back in rehab. I already did it 3 times. So you have to always have eyes everywhere, because cash will make an honest person a thief. And the biggest disease out there is jealousy.
Ooh, he dropping gems on you. I always say that the biggest disease out there is jealousy. It's like a cancer, honey.
And when people are jealous, they want to take from you.
They do.
That's the problem.
They do.
So you just have to surround yourself with good people and treat them right. You know, make them be able to make some money. Make them, you know what I'm saying? Say thank you for working for me. Thank you for coming today.
So as a business owner too, this is another great gem. That's great that you just said that. You want to make people always feel appreciated for what they do and
100.
the value. Yeah, because I feel like I just wrote a post today on Facebook about how I think that waitresses in restaurants or waiters, they should be paid, because like what's happening now is us, the customers, we're going in and they're like bullying you. Give me a 20-25% tip. And you're almost like, whoa, you weren't even that good, right? But you feel bad because you know that's what you're supposed to do at a restaurant is tip, right? But I feel like these waiters or waitresses don't even feel appreciated by these restaurants. They're getting like clean this, that they're getting used and abused almost.
I wouldn't say that, because I was in the restaurant business. What's going on with the tip process today is the computer software people who developed the program. Because when you go to the garden, the guy just handed you a water. He flips the screen over. You can't continue to pay until you press on a tip.
Yeah.
What am I tipping you for? You're already getting paid to hand me that water.
Right.
You did nothing but hand me the water.
Right.
But it's the software program that's forcing this tipping program to go wild. And that's getting out of control.
It is. It's so because it makes you the consumer.
You can't go to the next screen. I feel like you don't even want to press that no tip, because if you press it, the sirens are going to go off. Like, this guy didn't tip. This guy's not a tipper. And it's going to be like a red flag on you. So you're like looking for the lowest tip amount just to press it.
Oh, no, like remember back in the day, if a woman did adultery, she had the A on her.
Yes.
You put the T.
The scarlet letter.
The scarlet, the no tip, the NT.
Scarlet, yes.
No tipper.
I think the lights, you don't want to press that no T button, no tip, because the light's going to go off over your head. You're scared.
All right. So before we close out, hold this up. Okay. Via chocolate. So you already opened it.
I already ate it.
All right. Tell me what you think about it.
I think it's delicious. There's no.
This is dark chocolate. Do you normally drink eat dark chocolate?
Yes,
you do?
There's no aftertaste. There's no
bitterness.
There's no film on it like other chocolate you have. It's like a little oily. Like you have a bad aftertaste in your mouth. You're like,
no, dark chocolate.
Yes.
This is good,
I think
right?
it's delicious.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see if the kids will then want to steal it.
No, I'm getting you the milk chocolate too.
Oh, forget it. You're gonna give me a couple of cases of that. Milk chocolate's my favorite. Very good.
Okay, so Boston stripclubs.com. You guys want to book private events? You guys want to book bachelorette parties? You guys want to do any of that? You want to work? You want to get a job? Are you also hiring bartenders?
Absolutely.
Waitresses? Hey, honey, I might go in there and do some bartending. That's what I could do.
Guest bartender, we'll bring it in. We'll do one night, a Via night.
Ooh, a Via night with my Via Espresso martinis?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
we'll convince you to go on stage.
You really try to get me back on stage.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you for
Hope you
coming.
enjoy.
Thank you.
Mwah. Thank you. Ta-ta, darlings.